Well, welcome back after a week off, boys and Ange. I had to travel down to East Lansing to watch my Spartans beat up on Gonzaga last week, so sorry. Priorities, priorities. But we're going to start with the game of the week. And the game of the week, every week these two teams meet, is going to be, is just what it is. We're the only two teams with the balls to actually play for something in the Thunderbomb Cup, so therefore, that takes precedence. I mean, heaven forbid some of you other guys go out and spend $5 on the trophy to spice it up. But anyway, AAA squeezes out a victory. A must win to get back atop the division. Crooked Eye stays atop his division, so proves out to be two of the better teams in the league anyway. Let's go fantasy reality. Reality is without production from the Falcons, his Falcons and Michael Turner and Roddy White, Crooked Eye comes back to the pack a little bit and becomes a 70-point team scorer. But fortunately for him, those guys aren't out for the year, and he'll be back. He'll start putting up some points again. Let's go to fantasy. Fantasy is me thinking I can get 10 with Barber and LT not giving me much. Or Braylon, throw him in the group too. Bottom line, LT's starting to show a little life, which means my team will show a little life. But if I don't get a little more production out of those two backs, I'm going to be in trouble. Well, if I've said it once, I'll say it again. When the Brews take an L, they know how to take an L. He gets beat down again. Boy, it's all or none. They either blow people out and score 100, or they lay a damn egg and get routed. And Habib's Revenge does what a three-time champ is expected to do. It's playoff push time, and he's starting to put some separation between the contenders and pretenders with a thorough beating over the Brews. Let's go to fantasy reality. Fantasy is Special Brews dreams of making the playoffs. He's starting to realize why we call homo this time of year, because he basically folds and bitches up and gives you nothing. He was good early, so was the Brews. Let's go to reality. Reality is Habib's Revenge is back. Big game out of Big Ben, concussion or not, he's coming to play this week. He's going to need some production out of Forte, but with Mendenhall and Steven Jackson, he's got some strong backs right there that's carrying the load. And Wes Welker, I mean, come on now. Habib's Revenge is going to be a factor in the end. Is it too little too late? We'll see. We got the shock and the seekers. Normally this is a game I'll say, who gives a damn, these two teams suck, but one of these teams has turned it on. I must have woke up to sleeping Gianni this year, because Heater got the win over me, and he hasn't turned back yet. And not only has he not turned back, he's starting to put up some points. I'm just thankful that he's not in my division. And as far as the shot go, well, Sean and Crooked Eye will get at least one more bye week this year, so congrats on another win. Well, the Mighty One proves to be a thorn in the side anyway. And you would think, with Matthew bringing all of us out in February, the Mighty One would take it easy on him, as he's going to have company once again. But no, he goes ahead and thumps the U, and the U's hopes at playoffs take a big setback with this L here. Let's go to fantasy reality on these guys. Now, the reality is the Mighty One is it's a solid team. He's not great, but he came up with a great week this week. So 85, the U caught the wrong guy on the wrong week. Let's go to fantasy. Fantasy is the U's dreams of making the playoffs. I mean, he's in the bottom of the league in scoring. The only thing that's held him in there is he's going to shatter the record for all-time points against. And bottom line, if he doesn't find some running backs that's going to put up some points for him, he's in trouble. Wow. Did somebody tell Big Willie the season was over and we were playing for $20 this week? Normally, this is when you see the Barbarians start dropping beatings like this. When the rest of the real contenders are in the playoffs and there's $20 a week for the pretenders to fight for. And Big Willie's usually good at fighting that out. And Ange, maybe if you had called up Big Willie and said, hey, you can still make the playoffs, he'd have 41 points on the board. But he steps up this week, keeps his hopes alive. Let's go to fantasy reality. Fantasy's got to slide on over to the Ange. I mean, your dreams of making the playoffs are starting to slip. You did what you could with the mess you were dealt, but next year I suggest you come to the draft. Let's go to reality. Reality is Barbarians are gonna fight. They're gonna fight to the last week like they always do. And unfortunately, it looks like they're gonna get their hearts broken again this year. But there's always that bonus $40, Big Willie. That's Rob Baronas. Anybody that says a tie is like kissing your sister, ask Decem how a tie feels. He was down 15 going into or 16 going into Monday night, and Rob Baronas pulls two 50-yarders out of his ass to get Decem that tie. And I tell you what, right now that tie is looking a lot better on his record than the L. For Sean, it's probably not even. It's probably like making out with your sister for him right now because that hurts. Let's go to fantasy reality. Reality is both of these teams are probably going to end up in the playoffs. One, Decemp has a good cushion on his division. Two, Sean still has a bye left in the the shock. So reality looks good for both these boys. Fantasy, not too much fantasy with these two teams. Solid teams. They battled 81-81. I mean, two good teams. Two teams is in it until the end. So we shall see. All right. Welcome back to Ethan's Woodshed. I mean, last week was monumental. We had never went to the virtual world, but we welcomed in virtual Big Willie. I think everybody enjoyed that one. And then after winning the Thunderbomb Cup, let's take a look at what we have this week. Oh, it's T. Blake up there in the bathtub. One of our pudgy, drunk, fat, angry midgets cleaning up after that beating he took into the hands of Triple A. He looks so peaceful in that tub, though. But I'd like to thank him for returning the cup. I'm gonna have many a Thunder Bombs in there this Thanksgiving. So let's wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I'd like to welcome T. Blake behind Ethan's Woodshed. Yeah, we all know what that sound is. That's the sound of somebody getting beat down. Let's start here with Big Willie putting it on hands. You know, it's not normally. I say you don't put your hands on a woman. You don't beat down a woman. But Big Willie obviously, he can care less. But as much of a beating as he put on hands this week, I don't think that's it. These are two teams that are trying to get there. What's really expected of them. And then let's come over to here. Here's another pretty good beatdown, but I mean the Shockers by far the worst team in the league, so Heaters up and coming. What did you really accomplish by beating the worst team in the league? I mean, good beating, nice beatdown Heater, but you can't call the worst team in the league. Isn't that really a beatdown? Then we'll come right over here. We got division leader against a three-time champ. I mean, Buck is supposed to be the guy. I mean, he's the newcomer. He's back in the league. He's leading division. He controls his own odds. But then he just gets pummeled again by 43 points. I mean, come on, Buck. This is like the third time this year you've had a big game, and like the third time you just stepped up to get beat down. So I guess once again it's on, Buck. Congratulations. You are the punk that stepped up to get beat down. Here at the mighty Steelers, I mean, he hasn't scored 60 points all year, and he's going against the best defense by far in the history of the RFL, and he puts up 85. Clearly the Steelers have put in some work in the kitchen, smashing out on some Lucky Charms, but I don't think that I don't think that that's the luckiest guy in the league. Then we're gonna come here and cue the music again. And we have Rob Baronas. I mean, come on, P. 16 points when you had to have every last one of them, including a game-winning field goal. Clearly, you have been putting in some work in the kitchen, smashing out on some Lucky Charms. And for that, Decemp, you are magically delicious.